Wale, the military has worked hard to bring these fallen heroes home.
They've worked very hard. That is exactly right, Kimberly. It's something the organizers here appreciate, along with, of course, the families of those heroes. Mount Soledad is one of the most beautiful spots in San Diego, certainly one of my favorite spots, and one of the favorite spots of the people here gathering on this Thursday evening here. They can overlook all of the city. It's one of the highest points. You can look to the south and see Mexico, north, east. You can even look to the west if you want to see the Pacific Ocean. And Mount Soledad is dedicated for a solemn purpose, honoring military veterans for their service, including those still living, those who died in the line of duty, and those who died after returning home. Some of those names you'll see on these plaques right there behind me. But here's the issue. Some who died or went missing in action in places like Vietnam and Korea have never, ever been found. There are tens of thousands of American service members who died in 20th century wars whose remains are still missing or unidentified. According to the Department of Defense, they believe there are 39,000 remains that are recoverable. The remains were sadly lost too deep at sea to likely ever be found. Now, you heard Kimberly mention the Ramona man. His name was Thomas Green. For decades, his family had hoped to finally get some closure after his death in Vietnam. ABC 10 News reporter Sierra Encinas shares their emotional journey as Green finally returned home.
It's a homecoming more than 5 decades in the making.
This is closure after 51 years.
All there. With the support of the community, Private First Class Thomas Green made his way back to his hometown, Ramona. PFC Green landed at San Diego International Airport Thursday, greeted with military honors. He died while serving in the Vietnam War at just 19 years old.
He was mild, but he was energetic at the same time. He played in the high school band, and he's full of life.
The helicopter he was on went down while he was working a humanitarian mission in October 1971.
It was hard for the family. It was devastating to my folks, and I saw a big change in them afterwards.
The family grieved his death without his body. A memorial was even created in his hometown to honor his service, nearly 20 years after his death. Then, last year, the soldier's family got the news a lab in Honolulu had a piece of his bone. It was recovered during one of the Army's many recovery missions in the South China Sea. His brother says he had mixed emotions.
Sadness, but joy, and certainly it's closure.
Sierra Encinas, ABC 10 News.
Can certainly understand the mixed emotions there. Thank you, Sierra. Now, the discovery of Green's remains was not a lucky accident. Thanks to a concerted effort by the Department of Defense, there is a team using the latest in DNA technology combined with genealogy to find and ID the remains of previously unidentified veterans. Slowly but surely, they're putting names with those remains and bringing them back home to their loved ones. We've covered several with local ties over the last few years. This is Marine Private First Class John Middleswart. He was from San Diego and was serving on the USS Oklahoma on December 7th, 1941, the date of Pearl Harbor, of course. Middleswart was just 19 when he was killed, but it wasn't until 2 years ago that his remains were identified through DNA. We were there when he was honored at Fort Rosecrans. Marine Sergeant Millard Odom was killed in action during the Battle of Tarawa during World War II. Now, he did a boot camp at Camp Pendleton and was 26 when he died. His remains went to a cemetery in Hawaii for those who were not identified, but 75 years later, they were. In 2018, he was buried at Miramar. Now, the loved ones of many of these veterans died before the mysteries of their remains were solved, but for their descendants, bringing those remains home can help bring some closure and some peace. At 5:30, we're going to be speaking live with Mount Soledad Memorial Executive Director Neil O'Connell about the importance of honoring the sacrifices made by those who serve. For now, Kimberly, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yes, we need to get all of our heroes home. Thank you, Wale, for that. Great
Absolutely.
day.